You're welcome back. You're still watching Business Morning. If you've just joined us, this is Business Morning on Channels Television, and we've been talking about the capital market for 2014. If you have tweets and comments, you can also send us questions, and we'll be able to ask our guests here on the show. All right, we still have our guest just right beside me. Let's go over now to Mr. Dagogo. I was just trying to ask you about the movement of domestic investors away from the capital market to the money market, because they feel that with the raise of interest rates at the money market, where the central bank is involved, the bankers committee is involved, they feel they could make more money. How was the situation like for 2014?
You see, investment decisions are not meant to be sentimental. Investment decisions are supposed to be purely, purely interest things. How does it favor me? Okay. Capital will move globally. Capital, there's no restriction to capital. It will move to wherever. There is foreign investors. You shouldn't really vilify foreign investors, whether they are portfolio or they are for direct investments. The reason is because we know that particularly this year, maybe starting from most of last year, there's been a lot of streamlining, tightening by the economic managers. And that means that there is less money, there's less disposable income in the hands of, of the micro agents, okay, me and you. So I need to deal with the primary things, first of all, before talking about, capital market investments, right? Now, if that means that I must pay school fees and I must deal with these, issues, and I cannot invest in the market, and XYZ comes from somewhere to put the money down in the market, I need to buy these shares at very ridiculous prices, and then make money along the line. Are you going to blame them? Really? No, you shouldn't.
Okay.
You shouldn't.
Okay, Mr. Okezie, I want also look at the listings that were recorded during the year. We know that some companies actually listed on the market. For our viewers, let me just remind them. We have the Seplat Petroleum Development Company got its 543.2 million ordinary shares listed on the floor. It was actually listed at 567 Naira per share. We have Cavite Offshore Support Group listed on May 2020, and it had 2.35 billion shares listed at 9 Naira 50 kobo. Under the ASEM sector, that's the alternative securities market, we had Omoluabi Savings and Loans, while Lotus Ally Equity Capital and Vetiva Griffin 30 ETF, that's an exchange traded fund. All of this got listed in the year. How would you comment on the listings that were recorded this year, despite the bearish, environment, the bearish mood, investors' apathy that we had?
Yeah, the listening, was people take the bull by the horn, that, despite the fluctuating on the capital market, let's list our equity, Somebody, it will also help for them who are indebted to the banks to really kind of pay off banks, where they're owing. If their bank is on you, there's nothing they can do. The capital market is the only viable option for you to be able to settle those debts, It's not that on their own. For example, during the 2009, the heat of the meltdown, I think it was Honeywell that take the courage, listed equity at that time, where people are running away from the capital market, but today have been paid off, But in all of these things, how many IPO do we have? Zero. The IPO is where ordinary person can participate in the capital market.
I think Seplat had its IPO.
Listing. It was IPO. It was just, listening, And that time I voted, even the price they listed, was outrageous. Today, thank God for the price that was waiting. It's about 300 or something today. Get what they listed. All the staff shouted, what are they doing when they come on that price, listed? Even the Cavite, to this about 3 Naira something, it got to do something. So what are they doing? How many dividends have they paid as a private company? Where is the equipment? Where is the oil and gas, Don't forget about prospecting, So if you're now oil and gas, where do you establish a gas plant? I mean, Seplat, that price was outrageous, but God have catch them up, and it's going to go for that. Because those prices is not reconcilable. I mean, for me, and how much dividend they paid.
I wouldn't want us to be negative,
so not negative
towards any company. Because we all want all our companies to fare well. Of course, the forces of demand and supply may decide that.
Not forces of demand,
to
but you have to take into
the market
consideration
price.
how much dividend, how much projections that you have made, before say yes. that price is worth this price. It's worth 1,000 naira, you know, based on what you've been doing, based on the, you know, the valuations. Before you came up to see public, you know. That's the problem we're talking about. A regulator and conniver in all of these things.
We will come back to the
That's
regulation. Before we wrap up the show, we'll talk about how regulation in the capital market has been. But let me come to Dagogo. I want us to look at sectoral performances in the market. I have here the sectoral indices review revealed that most of them closed the year negative, which is a reflection of the whole market, except the NSE Oil and Gas Index and the ASEM, which gained 17.5%. That's for the NSE Oil and Gas so far, maybe before today, just by December, and we had 17.26% for the ASEM. We had the Lotus Index went down by 23.73%. Consumer goods declined by 21.5%. The banking index was down 20.04%. The NSE 30 depreciated. So what to comment about all of these numbers?
I think the first thing to look at is what is the share of these indices to the all share index, yeah? So you will see that the oil and gas index is not very, it doesn't have a strong weight, you know, overall, compared to the all share index. So when you see drops, when you see a reflection in the industrial, industrial sector, you see a reflection in the banking sector. When these, move, then the all share index will move. So in terms of that, the market has not done well. The index is down, and that is the truth. It doesn't matter that, because you must get down to the share of the all share index for you to look at those disaggregated components. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Boniface, I would like us to talk about the bond market before we wrap up. Our time is really up. We've seen the activities in the year were actually influenced by, largely by FGN primary market bond bills auctioned that occurred. But it seems that we didn't see corporate bonds in the market. We didn't see much of that happen during the year.
Well, for me, the corporate bond have not, except the federal government, which I was encouraging, and government were able to see when due. The corporate bond are not forthcoming. So I think, because CBN does are yet to settle it, some of them would have been come up on a, corporate bond, the way of, boosting up their market and the activities those companies are doing. Okay? Maybe 2050, some of them will come up. Like some of the states, that because all of us also have to put mouth that, look, SEC, don't approve state bond. Because most government have completed their tenure outgoing. What's the need coming to bond? I think it was one Ebony, I came on A here. I said, no, you shouldn't approve such thing. Because if you are outgoing government, what are you doing with those bonds? Money you want to raise. Because some of them don't develop their state. You state, I'm releasing bond to develop roads, to bring pipe-borne water. And how do you see these things on ground? That's nothing, So incoming government will not be able to. Because except those on ground, you cannot have courage to service those bonds. As and when due. But when money have been diverted, for the purposes what meant for, if I'm a governor coming in, I can't be able to. Even if I belong to that party, I won't be able to service those bonds. So it's a risk taking, I think people have become wiser. And even to say, SEC, don't approve those bonds of those state government, because they are going, except the government that's still fresh, that still have some tenures, can also come for bond, But bond should be worth encouraging. Corporate, organizations should be able to take advantage, raise money to the bond, and able to finance what the project they're doing. Okay. I mean, it's a good omen.
I'm going to ask Dagogo two questions in one, which is, how would you assess regulation in the market and your outlook for 2015?
Like I said, regulation, most market participants, operators, regulators are doing well in the circumstance. Everybody is geared towards taking this market to a very enviable level. And I think that they're all doing well. The rules are being reviewed and all of that. Regulation, they are regulators, and you don't expect them to buckle. They must stand for what they believe in, okay? I think the regulators have reasonably done what they've listened. They've reacted appropriately. The other question regarding my outlook, well, I think that for 2 generations, my summary is for 2 generations almost, Nigeria has been supported by oil. If you look at the report of the CBN, the last MPC report, if you look at the last quarter generally, you look at all by NBS and all of that, you would see that Oil, it's not a temporary.
Should we see an uptick in the performance of agricultural stocks?
Absolutely.
On the market.
Anybody thinking today must begin to go agriculture, light manufacturers, and the rest of them. Oil, I think we're getting to the end of it, and it is good indeed for this country.
All right, let me hear from our time is up. I just want to ask you.
Agriculture equity listed are not even doing well.
No. It's an adjustment time.
Our time is really up. I just want you to talk in 30 seconds. Okay, so your outlook for 2015.
Yes.
You have just 30 seconds.
2015, for me, I've said it before, that we're in for a bigger problem.
For the market, yeah.
For the market, it's not going to recover, even in the first quarter, second quarter, Yeah, the market will not recover. But I told you, the thing that will build confidence is how we get our election right. Then that will also still confidence among the other foreign or local investors to come back right to the market. But over-regulating the market kills the market. Who regulate the regulators? So the regulators should wear down their so-called regulatory. They are killing the industries. We have it in CBN. We are not get out of the banking industry over-regulated. They were there, things are going wrong. They didn't detect it. At the end of the day, they conducted audit, which I have not made the fact table before. These are their conduct. This is the outcome. Today they took over people's investments. Is it
just about gloom and doom for 2015?
Today they took over people's investments.
No.
In the name of nationalization. So we must take it correct, this market, by 2015. But what we're doing, regulator must be sensible enough, not the market.
Okay.
That's a problem.
Okay. I think at this point I have to just call it a day on the show. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful conversation with Boniface Okezie, the president of the Progressives Shareholders Association, and also here is Dagogo Iyoma, is the CEO, Milestone Capital Management. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the show, and I wish you a very happy New Year,
everybody.
You too.
Thank you so much, and that will be
whether madam or no madam, happy New Year.
Okay, that will be all we can bring your way on the Business Morning. Thank you so much for sticking around with us, and also I'm sure you've learned one or two things, and we hope that the market recovers despite the outlook that we've gotten on the show. We hope that everything comes out well. Thank you so much for watching. I am Bolaji Akinwale.